She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties. 16 minutes in, haven't talked anything about this damn book yet.
We're just giving Tom more.
The amount of time doesn't matter if you do it right.
She loves lesbians.
Oh, and there's only one bed!
Bitch, you're snorting.
We've been getting shorter and shorter.
What are we fucking talking about?
At some point, I'm gonna just create a theme song for us.
Well, you watch Bailey Sarian. Have you seen Bailey Sarian?
Yeah, and she does that, like...
She's... Yeah. I need to come up with something like that.
Okay, so I have to tell you something really funny.
Oh, Jesus.
So, Tom was editing
yeah.
I got you. He was editing our episode that comes on before this episode. And I said, hey, how did it sound? You know, I always ask him for feedback on how the episode is, because he's the first person to listen to it.
Yeah.
And we live it, but then he's the first person to listen to it. And he goes, it was okay. And I was like, it was just okay? Like, we both liked the book. Like, you know, was it really just okay? He was like, there was a lot of popping. And I was like, hold up. So what you're telling me is that you judge our episodes by how much editing you have to do and not by the actual content that we create.
Well,
he was like, pretty much.
This goes with... Okay, so this morning I logged on to Drive and I saw the reel was up, and Tom posts reel and Drive before we do anything else. And usually he texts us that it's up. So I see it and I text the group and I go, Tom, the reel's real funny. And he goes, it's just the content. I was like, yeah, but you... And I wanted to argue with him and be like, yeah.
Well, he forgot to put the music behind it. So he might have missed that.
Like, it's just like... But it's very, like, we talk about how there's a little tism in all of us, and that's just the tism coming out, and you're like...
Yeah. Well...
You knew what I meant, Thomas. You knew what I meant.
He forgot to put the music, so I went to download it, and, like, I listened to the intro first, because we always do, and if we don't like that, then we make him change the intro, but we haven't actually had to do that probably... I don't think we had to do it last season at all.
We haven't had to do it since season 2, I don't think.
I don't think so. He's gotten really good at it. So
he gives us options sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he does.
But whatevs.
But
we're indecisive.
Well, sometimes he just doesn't want to embarrass me too much, which I appreciate, you know. But
he doesn't mind throwing me under the bus, and I'm fine with that, Tom. I know who I am here.
Anyway, I went to listen to it, the intro, and I started downloading the episode at the same time, and I realized there's no music. Like, he left out our intro music. And then he didn't believe me. Like, I was like, no, put my headphones on, babe, and listen to it. And he was like,
I'm serious here.
Like, he's like, oh, let me go over here and check, because his desk is right next to mine. And he pulls up his computer and he's like, oh yeah, I turned the song off. I was like, I didn't make it up. I listened to it on the actual episode part 2 to just make sure it wasn't just left out in the intro clip.
Does he think you're Winston from New Girl and either you do the lamest pranks or the worst thing ever? Like, that is a prank?
I love that.
Look, there's no music! Ha! Gotcha, music!
I don't know.
You just got Winston!
You got Winston. I don't know what he thought.
Today we had... Oh, let me tell you about my morning.
Okay.
My morning. So this morning, I slept in a little bit.
Oh, I did too.
I make coffee. I go to hit start. I pour my coffee. I sit down. Liv's having a bowl of cereal. And I look at Liv and I look at the time and I go, it's 9:20. What am I supposed to be doing this morning? And I look at Liv and I look at my coffee and I look at the time again. And I go, oh, fuck, Liv, we gotta go. And she's like, what? And I go, you have a hair appointment at 9:45?
Oh, God.
Like, so she thought I had said text her Sunday. So her and I, like, rush. I mean, she's got that short hair, but man.
So cute. That looks so cute on her.
We have a new stylist, and she's, like, right down the road. So Stephanie knows me. And she's already understands me by now, and she's like, girl, I don't fucking care, because I know you.
Oh my gosh.
But I was on time.
Well,
I was on time. I want to made it. No,
there you go.
I mean, it was a minute till 45, but I was on time. So, do you want to talk about this week's book?
Sure.
So this week we are talking about Delilah Green, and She Just Doesn't Care. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring. And what a beautiful cover.
Mm-hmm. It is really beautiful. And I gotta say that
do the girls look how you imagine them?
Yes. And I love Claire's dress. That is like so cute. I wouldn't wear something that's like snug to my body that tightly.
Yeah.
I would never wear things like that, but it's so cute.
This is Astrid. I'm not going to show you the other part of the book because we're not talking about this book, but that's what Astrid looks like.
Yeah, I've actually seen the cover because I almost picked up both of them when I bought this one.
I love this book. This book's just as good.
Which one do you like better?
I would have to reread Astrid, I think.
BOTH, both?
Both. So,
both.
How about a synopsis?
Synopsis. It's been a year and we're still making fun of that.
We fucking do what we want.
We do what we want.
Delilah Green doesn't fucking care. And she makes sure everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Delilah, a loner since her father's death, is going home to Bright Falls to photograph her stepsister's wedding. Being a loner works for her till Claire, her stepsister's childhood best friend, comes into her life.
Mm-hmm.
Claire Sutherland is a lot of things, but not caring is not one of them. Mm-hmm. She has a preteen daughter, Ruby, an ex that keeps leaving and returning, screwing things up with said kid, and a type A best friend that's getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And all she can think about is Delilah Green.
I mean, why
as Delilah and Claire get deeper into their relationship, things get more complicated. Let's talk about this sapphic romance and all the drama that unfolds in Whitefall.
All right, let's go ahead.
Okay, so I did do a character breakdown on here because there was a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get a chance to see it?
I did, but if you want to read it for our listeners, they can't see the stuff we put on the drive.
They can't, no. So, first is Delilah and Claire are our main characters, so I didn't cover them. I just covered, like, the extras because there's a lot of extras in this storyline. Josh, who we're going to be talking about, is the ex-partner, whatever, of Claire and baby daddy to Ruby. Ruby is a 5th grade daughter of Claire. Very cool. Astrid is Delilah's stepsister and also getting married. Iris is 1/3 of the coven and Astrid and Claire's best friend. She has red hair. That is important to the author. And then Spencer, Astrid's fiance and boot extraordinaire. Mm-hmm. Isabel, Astrid's mother and 2-time widow, is also the step monster to Delilah. Mm-hmm. So, did I miss any of the characters, like the main ones we talked about?
The daughter? We're going to talk about? You didn't actually...
I did say Astrid.
No, the daughter. Claire's daughter.
Ruby. I mentioned Ruby.
What the fuck was I listening to? Okay.
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. First question.
Okay.
I spelled Ashley wrong. Jesus Christ. Ashley Herring Blake.
There's grace for that.
I'm glad because I use his name in vain a lot. Ashley Herring Blake is new to the pod. What did you think of her style and voice as an author?
Okay, I didn't mind it. I actually think this book had a lot of cliches in it. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I didn't really mind the writing. And, I mean, I don't really feel a desire to read her again, but that's not to say that if you put Astrid Green or Astrid Parker or whatever on next season, like, I wouldn't be like, no, Molly, I'm not reading that book. Like, it's not that.
Her writing's not objectionable, but not your style.
The story just wasn't it for me. And I know... No, I'll hold that thought.
Hold it.
I'll hold it.
She fits in really good with Emily Henry and
I disagree.
Allie Hazelwood.
I disagree completely. I disagree completely because Allie Hazelwood and Emily Henry, they will put tropes in their stories, but they do it with finesse. To me, this is much more in tune with It Happened One Summer, Tessa Bailey.
No way! She is 10 times better writer than Tessa Bailey.
I don't agree.
I don't think we're going to agree on that one.
I don't think we are either, because this is like a beloved book for you. This is like your favorite book you read last year.
Yes, this is in my top 5 for sure. This is my top romance read of last year.
This isn't even going to make a list of like best pod book for me. Like, it's not even.
How about best cover?
No, I don't think it's the best cover. I mean, okay, I've got Emily Henry's Book Lovers right next to me. Look at that. It's beautiful. I know.
This is
and then this is our first March book. Look at the cover there.
Yeah.
Like, this is okay. It's purple.
Okay. It's purple. It's purple.
I mean,
did you listen?
The artist did a great job nailing the characters, though. Those are definitely what I picture.
Absolutely. So did you listen to the audiobook or the physical book?
I listened to the audiobook. I did buy the physical book, but I tend to, for pod, as much as I can, when it's your week to host. Right. This is a secret that you know, but not all of our listeners know. I tend to listen to the audiobooks when it's your book, because I have a harder time writing questions when it's my book. Right. And we're often reading 2 books at a time.
Speak for yourself. You're reading 2 books at a time. I read a single book at a time because.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I read 2 books. I've read all of the February books.
You do a physical book and an audiobook constantly.
Always. Well, I have a 30-minute commute, so I listen in the shower.
That was not intended to be hateful. No. I'm just surprised.
No, I listen in the shower. I listen while I'm putting on my makeup and getting my hair done, doing my hair. I listen in the car. And then I listen on my lunch break, and I listen in the car ride home. Nice. So I can get about 2 hours of an audiobook in a day.
That's nice.
And so today I actually started a series that you keep taking off the pod list. So I'm just going to read it by myself.
I added it, and then I saw a book reader I like on TikTok just destroy it. And
well,
then
to be fair, I'm the one that keeps adding it. You keep taking it off.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a Molly book. So the series we're talking about is Shadow and Bone. And if I ever do
it's absolutely not a Molly book.
If I ever do convince Molly to read it, we'll put it on here. But it's not a Molly book. So we've talked about our group chat with Katie, our friend Nurse Katie, who's been on the pod 4 or 5 times now.
I don't know. I've lost count.
She's been on so many times. Too. And like, we talked to her.
A lot of days. That's all I know.
A lot of days. All day, every day, the 3 of us are texting. Like, our husbands are all aware that they're not allowed to read those text message chains. Like, you can listen, you can read all of the other things.
One of us is missing.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. Even then, they're gonna tell you not to do it. Like, if I go missing, April's gonna call Matt and be like,
"Nah,
I think I know where she is."
Nah, brah. Stay out of the group chat. But Katie and I have a side chat where we talk about fantasy novels, because that's not really your jam, but it's what we love. So
I know Katie and I have a side chat where we talk about baking. So.
And I don't bake; I burn pre-made cookie dough. So
I can't
even eat what you guys make because I'm diabetic.
That's a whole nother conversation.
But I'm so happy you have that. Like, I love to cook. The 3 of us love to cook. I just can't do the baking. So
Right. So, but yeah, it's just so funny. Anyway, what are we fucking talking about? How did we even get there?
Something about audiobooks.
So you listen to the audiobook.
I listened to the audiobook.
Okay.
So it comes full circle.
Okay. So you did not see the bonus chapter then?
No, they had the bonus chapter in the audiobook.
They did? Or not the first chapter of Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail?
Oh, no. I listened to the audiobook on #NotSponsored Audible on your account.
Thank you again. They don't have the bonus chapter in there then.
Oh, but the part about Ash, I didn't want to read that because I didn't know if I'd want to read the next book, and that was an excerpt from it.
Gotcha. So then that answers the question. Moving on.
Okay. That was your question?
That was my question. If you had read the physical book, did you read the bonus chapter?
I mean, I didn't even care about the bonus chapters in the Bridgerton book that we read. So I was like, no, please let me be done with this. Although I didn't have those feelings about this book. I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it. You're just never going to touch it again.
I don't know that. It's not going to be Like if I'm looking for a comfort read, it's not this one. I'm gonna pick up Emily Henry, or I'm gonna fucking read Twilight again.
I mean, we all know what your comfort read is.
I was actually thinking about watching the Twilight movies again this weekend because I was like looking to like detox this weekend. And Tom said to me, wait, Kate, I gotta tell you this, Molly. Tom said to me, I'm actually really surprised that you haven't asked me to download How to Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. And I was like, I fucking love that you know that when I have had too much in my life,
your favorite movie.
That is the movie that I want to watch. It is nowhere near my favorite movie. My favorite movie is Singing in the Rain. But if I need to shut my brain down, I want the saccharine sweetness of Win a Date with Tad Hamilton.
Okay, so
I don't know
think
why.
You know my comfort movie.
Ooh.
And it's really obscure and weird. Dogma by Kevin Smith.
I did know that. And I remember thinking when you told me that, there's no way that's correct.
Yes.
It's like that episode of Friends where they're like doing the who knows who better. And what does Rachel say her favorite movie is? And then what is her actual favorite movie?
Yeah. So funny. But yeah, Dogma. I know. It's super weird.
That's a
it's
weird
not kind
choice,
of religion.
Man.
It's such choice. I love it though. I can watch that movie 100 times.
I mean, I can watch Sing in the Rain 100 times, but it's not the thing that comforts me.
No, it's just, I don't know. Chris Rock falling out of the sky and going, "Are you looking at my junk?" Like, as soon as he, like, this dead apostle falls from the sky and yells at Jay and Silent Bob for, like, looking at his penis, I lose it every time.
I think I've only seen it, like, one time. But I do like Kevin Smith's movies. I've seen
I love Kevin Smith. Yeah. Okay, what the fuck, man?
16 minutes in, haven't talked anything about this damn book yet.
We've covered 2 questions.
We have? I'm so proud of us.
2 questions. Question 3. Oh my God. Chapter 1 is where we meet Delilah Green. Mm-hmm. She is waking up from a one-night stand where she doesn't even know the girl's name. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, she goes through all the L names. Lorelai, Lonnie, Leah. Anyways.
Yeah.
She wakes to her phone, and it's Astrid reminding her about the wedding. What did you first think of Delilah?
The same thing I thought about her at the end.
Oh. You didn't, like, there was no change in her for you.
I think we're supposed to think her character grew and changed, but I don't think that's the case. I think she just finally allowed herself to have the thing that she wanted all along.
Which was love?
And a family.
Yeah.
I think Delilah is a walking cliche. Mm-hmm. She's
a cliche store clown for sure.
And this, I made a Post-it note of my issues.
I want to hear it.
With my issues of this book, and one of the 2, I'll save the other one for later, but one of the 2 is that this is a Cinderella cliche.
100%, and we never get
and we don't get the resolution that you get from Cinderella, because it's not like, I mean, I get it. She ends up with Claire, but it's not like,
right.
It's not like it was stick it to her stepmom and her evil stepsister, because that wasn't the case at all. No. But I honestly think that the problem was not the stepmom or Astrid. I think the problem was Delilah and grief, and nobody let her grieve properly.
She didn't have a grown-up to care about her.
Right. I don't think that her stepmom was like, I mean, I'm not saying that her stepmom wasn't unaffectionate towards her. Yeah. But I don't think that her stepmom was the evil stepmom that Delilah thought she was. I think that was Delilah's grief.
I want to talk about this when we get into talking about the characters.
Okay.
A little bit more, because there's a lot about Astrid, Isabel, and Delilah I can talk about from the next book that kind of fills that out.
That's context we don't have in this book.
Right. 100%. We talk about unlikable main characters. This book is filled with them. Yes. Astrid, Delilah, Isabel. The list goes on. Do you think the author did this so we could get growth from these characters?
I mean, I'm sure that was the intention, and I know that she's writing or releasing a third book. Is it about these characters too?
Yes, it is. It's about Iris.
Of course it is. That's what I was fucking gonna predict, that it was about Iris, because she's made 3 characters that need so much growth, and she's gonna make the books about those characters.
Right.
But Claire isn't going to get her own story because she's going to be the foil for all of these. And I actually think she's the best of the characters.
She is the best of the characters. But because Claire is the most well-rounded. Claire is the warmest. She's the mom. Mm-hmm. She's the most mentally healthy, I think.
If I'm going to see myself in this book, she's the only one that I can relate to.
I relate with her too. I related with her as soon as I opened this book, though. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of myself in her.
Yep.
So, I mean, we don't really get growth, right? No. This isn't a huge, deep romance. It's a sugary little, we get some change with Josh and Astrid dumping the boyfriend, spoiler alert, but it's just, I don't know. Anyways, Iris is just trying to get Claire laid, in her words. And so when she gets to chat to the tattooed hot girl, she doesn't realize it's Delilah. What do you think of this meeting or reintroduction of these 2 women?
I find it really unfucking believable, to be honest with you. I'm not saying you wouldn't recognize the girl from your hometown he went to high school with. You may vaguely be like, didn't I go to high school with that girl? But you might not know her exactly. But this is your best friend's stepsister. So that feels a little bit like you would know who she was.
Right.
Also, are none of them looking at her Instagram? Astrid didn't say...
she's never on there. She never puts herself on there.
No.
Her Instagram is just her photography.
Right, but is there not a headshot of her at all?
She never, none.
Well, okay. Well, whatever. But I don't know. I also really found it unbelievable that, and this is not to say that groups of friends are often of the same orientation, because that's, that happens. But I really found it hard to believe that in this small town that there were 3 girls who were bisexual and one that was a lesbian. It just didn't feel realistic to me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they found out, a lot of them discovered this later.
No. Claire and Delilah both knew that when they were in high school, and Iris came out at the end of high school. So it was only Astrid.
Iris came out in college.
Okay.
Sophomore year of college.
Okay, well, that's a little bit more.
I'll give it to you. Yes, it is peculiar that all these women just magically came from this tiny, small town. But...
And I'm not saying that that's not to say that there isn't a high percentage of, gay LGBTQ students at one school. That happens, but it just feels unlikely that would have happened in a small town.
Like Bright Falls.
That they would have come out so easily in high school.
Right. Not at their ages, because if that's correct, they're in their mid to late 30s. Mm-hmm. So that would mean...
They're not too far from us.
Right. So I don't know anybody... I didn't have a single person that was out in high school.
There was no one out that went to my high school, but there were 2 people that I was pretty certain... 3 people I was pretty certain were gay, and all 3 of them are. So.
We had one that nobody said it outright. We just assumed, and he never denied it. So it was just common knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say his name because he's pretty well known and back home, but he just was just like, yeah, this is it. You guys can assumed it. It's true. Whatever. We're moving on.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think that this, going back to the book, I didn't think this was a meet cute for me. It was a meet awkward, but I don't know. Claire needed to be a lot more drunk for that to have made sense to me.
Yeah. Delilah bets her sister she can bed Claire. Did you think this was appropriate?
So this is my second complaint on my Post-it note.
Okay. Hit me with the bell.
I really hated the 90s rom-com. Am I a bet? Am I a stupid bet? What movie is that from?
She's All That.
Yes, it is. As soon as that came out, that's what flashed in my head. Freddie Prinze Jr. looking all grief-stricken because Rachel Lee Cook called him out on his bullshit.
I want to punch him in the fucking nose when I saw that scene. Yeah, and I rewatched that recently. It is gross.
Yeah.
It is gross. The only cool thing about it is that Matthew Lillard scene where he's like, I came home last night. Wouldn't make love to me. And he's like doing that weird ass dance. You don't remember this?
Give it to me, baby. But I don't find that part cool.
I thought it was hilarious. Oh no, I didn't find it cool. I found it fucking hilarious because it's being a joke, right?
Right.
He's making a mockery of the real world road rules people.
Right. Absolutely.
And it was fucking hilarious.
It was definitely the movie for that time. But that is not something that I want to read about at 41.
No, because it's not mature.
Mm-mm.
But, I mean, this is her first book. And it reads like a first book. It reads like... Okay, so family is a big part of this romance story. So there are several relationships I want to talk about. So let's start first with Delilah and Astrid.
Okay.
This is the driving force. I mean, their relationship and how they interact is a driving force in this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, my brain just went blank. Sorry.
Well, I actually liked the quote-unquote plot twist that Astrid really wanted Delilah and her to be sisters.
Yeah.
That she wanted her at her wedding. I think their relationship was very intriguing, and I think that would have been a totally different book. That's a book by John Green. Not a book
that's a John Green book.
Ashley Herring Blake. I just think that their relationship dynamic was compelling. Yeah. And that would have been more, I would have liked to explore that more. Does that happen? Do they explore that more, the sister relationship in the second book?
So without spoilers, in Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, we've jumped forward a little bit in time, and Astrid and Delilah are working on their relationship a lot. Okay. Astrid's still really rigid, really stiff. She is just this type A ball of tension, right? And Delilah still is just like poking at it.
A hot fucking mess.
Yeah. But it's more of a playful, loving poking at it now. But it's an interesting breakdown, and it's an interesting choice to put these turmoiled sisters in the middle of a romance book.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then, so this leads into the relationship of the three women, Delilah, Astrid, and Isabel. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I think you and I see this relationship differently. So, I think Isabel is the villain. Because she was the grown-up, right? And she treated these girls how she treated these girls. So, how do you assess so you don't think she's as bad as they make her out to be?
She's lost 2 husbands.
I get that.
She's grieving herself. I mean, I don't think she was a great mom to either one of them. Like, I'll be clear on that. Like, I don't think she was a great mom to Astrid either. And I think Astrid just kind of let her run her life. Right. But I don't think she's the villain.
It's just, I get that she also lost a second husband, 2 husbands back to back. Mm-hmm. But she really placed that blame on the foot of children.
Yeah, but
that's not forgivable. Don't put adult troubles on kids when your heart is broken.
I don't agree with you that it's not forgivable, because unfortunately it happens frequently, and it is something that people do forgive. I mean,
that's great.
We're the older siblings that had to deal with all the shit, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like we don't forgive our parents. We just have different relationships with them now because we needed the distance.
I haven't. Okay. I have no relationship with Bill.
I mean our moms. I was thinking of our moms.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different. I have a pretty decent relationship I have a pretty good relationship with my mother, I can say. But it's just, Barb did the best she could in her situation. Mm-hmm.
I would make the same argument for Isabel.
Okay. I will concede that. But Isabel's a grown-up now.
That's never fucking gonna happen again, everybody.
No, but the reason I'm conceding that is because, fine, she was grieving then. What's her excuse now?
Delilah bounced. I mean, you're
She
right.
wouldn't let Delilah come back to her.
She needed to repair the relationship. She did.
When Delilah goes home after that big breakup, she won't to let Delilah live in her childhood home.
Yeah.
She fucking evicted her.
Yeah, that is a problem. You're right.
I'll concede that. That's a John Green book, right? I want John Green as well. You know what I want from John Green? I want him to write so many things, but related to this book specifically, and I just had this idea. John Green is going to write a short story or a novelette, and it's all going to be the therapist's notes of family therapy of Delilah, Astrid, and Isabel.
He's probably not going to do that, but it would be very funny.
It would be amazing.
He posted a TikTok recently about his book, which we read in our first season, Looking for Alaska. It's being challenged again, and it's being banned again, and it's being banned because it's pornography. And
of course, I mean,
he said, if we're all going to agree that my book is pornography, can we all agree it's the worst kind of pornography?
I saved one. I'll send it to you after this. I saved one. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It's like the news article behind him.
That's amazing. I love him so much.
I do too. He's hilarious.
He's top shelf.
Of course he is.
Although, I gotta tell you this, speaking of top shelf,
okay.
Tom said today he thinks that libraries should be organized like liquor stores. Top shelf to bottom shelf. So if you're looking for top shelf, like romance, you go to the.
Right. But who are we to judge that?
Oh, well, it's my job to judge what's good and bad. Number one, I'm a librarian. Number two, I literally have a podcast about it.
But I don't get to go in. I don't get to go in the library and be like, those are good, those are bad,
I
do. So the last family relationship I want to talk about is Claire and Josh.
Okay.
So Claire has a baby daddy who just, he ghosts every few months, every whatever. Yep. What did you think of this part of the storyline and how it added or didn't add to the story?
Okay, so I don't think that Josh's story is necessarily needed here. I get it that he's Ruby's dad, but you could just have the deadbeat ex-boyfriend story where she's just single mom in it and Josh is never around. It makes her anxious and paranoid and kind of a little crazy, and I don't think you need all of those things.
No. I think the only reason he's in there is if she got a big book deal. If she got a 7-book deal,
yeah,
she
I was
needed
thinking
extra characters.
I think he would be the character.
I think it's going to go Delilah, then we got Astrid, then Iris. Mm-hmm. We'll get Josh next. Mm-hmm. And after Josh, we'll get Isabel, and that'll be the end of that series.
I agree.
I think that'll be the end of that series. Okay, that was just a prediction. So, it's very apparent that Spencer is 100% a shit boot. As Iris has told us several times in this book. Mm-hmm. But was it right for the girls to try and break up the wedding?
No.
Agreed.
Listen, if these girls...
These are there's a lot of movie cliches in here.
Yeah, if these girls are truly best friends and have been best friends since middle school, and they're basically more sisters than Astrid and Delilah are sisters, if all of that is their backstory, then you don't wait until she's engaged and about to walk down the aisle to do something stupid like a prank. Like a prank that gets fire ants on him or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh,
no, it was pepper
yeah, paprika or something in his drawers.
Chili powder. Like you don't do that. No. That's something that you do when you are in high school.
Right. 100%. And it's just as much as and look, I love this book. I am being hypercritical because that's what we do here. Mm-hmm. Gang. I don't want it twisted. I love this.
The book we did last week, I loved the book Love on the Brain, but there are definitely things that were problematic.
So what I have issue with here, the wedding. Okay. So we get this whole story about they're the 3 best friends, right? They were called the Coven. They were so thick as thieves, these 3, that I mean, her kid calls them her aunt because if she's in trouble, she's calling her Aunt Iris, her Aunt Astrid, or her mom.
Right.
This is how tight these women are.
Right.
And you're telling me in the year she's been with Spencer, they've met him twice?
No.
I call bullshit. Bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's
bullshit
because she was embarrassed of him. She knew their relationship wasn't right,
and I really think those girls were waiting till Delilah got there. They knew Delilah was coming.
They didn't know she was coming, though. That's where the author wanted it to happen, but no.
Romance cliches are part of the genre. Mm-hmm. Which one in here did you feel worked and didn't?
I didn't like the bet or the Cinderella cliche. I actually liked the one bed trope.
The way she did that,
I texted you and said, cute. "Oh, and there's only one bed."
It was super cute, and it added a nice layer to Delilah and Astrid's relationship too, right? So you're seeing that like Astrid wasn't planning for Delilah because she didn't think she could rely on her, and that's sad because Delilah didn't know she was coming either. So it's just. Was sad. Anyways, so tropes that are in here. Okay, so we got the one bed trope. We get the Cinderella cliche. We have the not tell anybody we're dating cliche. There's a lot of them in here. Mm-hmm. Some worked, some didn't. I would say 30-70.
I think that's
didn't
fair.
Versus, yeah. So I got a quick list of like the major things that happened that caused drama to make things go sideways in this book. Mm-hmm. Delilah knocking over the champagne tower at the brunch. Mm-hmm. The camping trip with the prank and the pepper powder. Pulling Spencer into the water, and then the no room for Delilah at the spa. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else you thought was pertinent to the storyline that we should talk about in that sense?
Not that we haven't, except there's one, but I know you're going to bring it up, so I'm going to hold off on that one. But the photo.
Yeah.
Claire's photo.
We have this sub-story of why Delilah is the way Delilah is. A horrible breakup from a pretty terrible ex. Was this a necessary part of the story?
No, because I think she had enough, like, other things that...
I mean, she has nobody that's loved her whole childhood. Is that not enough to make her feel unloved?
Yeah.
We also had to make a terrible ex-girlfriend?
It was not necessary.
Surprise, surprise. Claire is the magical, mystical muse for all of Delilah's gay art photos.
Yeah.
This leads her into bonding with Ruby. Like or dislike? I think the scenes with her and Ruby are cute. I love that she bonded with
her and Ruby are like the guy trying to get to know the single mom in like movies. That's what it was like. Like, this is the thing we're going to bond over.
It's Dean from Supernatural.
I don't watch Supernatural. I've seen like one episode.
It's really scary. You don't do scary.
Exactly.
Yeah. You had it. Yeah. The bell's enough.
Yeah.
The family, because that is what they are. All these people are in turmoil near the end of this book. Mm-hmm. Josh has vanished on Claire. Ruby again. And Josh and Claire again. Delilah and Claire are done. Delilah's like back in New York doing her own damn thing. And Astrid is called off the wedding. Mm-hmm. What do you think of how the author brought all these endings to a close for
It was predictable.
Us as readers?
It was predictable. Astrid shows up and brings Delilah back, and you've got to do this and blah, blah, blah. It was predictable.
Yeah.
That isn't to say I wasn't happy that she and Claire ended up together. I was.
But I mean, this author did do something that is not what they normally do at the end of these books. Usually we get a proposal or something, but Astrid Delilah gets an apartment. She moves back to White Falls and she's taking it slow.
Yeah.
I thought you would have been like liked that because like there was no instant engagement. You hate instant engagement.
I hated an instant engagement in the Jasmine Guillory book.
Okay, you only hate instant engagement in some books.
In some books. I like it sometimes, but not always. Like, I don't always think they need to end an engagement. Sometimes it can just end happily like this one did. I didn't mind the ending of this book, actually. And I'm going to defend myself real quick. Wait, are we going to talk about the spice in this book?
I didn't actually have it on here. But
okay, well, then I'm going to defend myself real quick because we said in last week's episode that the reason that I might not have liked this book was because it was two women and maybe I just wasn't into reading that. But, and Tom actually said the same thing to me today. And then I was like, well, maybe that's what it is. But I'm going to give you my Goodreads review while I defend myself and say that that's not the reason. All right, I gave this, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I basically have told you the whole thing. Right. I gave this book a true rating of a 2.5 out of 5. But I rated on Goodreads with 3 stars, and I put in quotations, not quotations, parentheses, and that extra 0.5 is because the sex was hot. So it wasn't women that was the problem.
I will give it to you. But the next sapphic romance, if you just can't connect with these girls emotionally, I'm calling you out and saying you're not gay.
Well, I think that I'm not gay anyway. I don't think that's the question. But when Katie and I did the episode for One Last Stop, I love Casey McQuiston's first book. I love it so much. What bothered me about that one was not the two women. It was having sex on a subway train. Like, gross.
Dude, that's so gross.
And then the second book that we read that was two women was queerly beloved. And I think I'm right in hating that book. You didn't even finish it.
I couldn't finish it. It was bad.
So, it's not the lesbians that bother me.
I'm not saying lesbians bother you. I just don't think you like lesbian sex, and that's okay.
I don't want people to think that I have issue with whatever it is that they want to do.
Everyone, listen to me clearly. We have an ally in April, okay? Yeah. She loves lesbians. She loves the bi. She loves the gays. She just doesn't want to sleep with us.
It's true. I'm sorry.
No offense taken. Okay, we did the Goodreads. Let's talk about next week.
Next week, we are reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This will be our second Emily Henry. We read Beach Read in season 2. And I finished the book today and I cried. So,
oh, man. I started it today.
You did?
I have not yet cried.
How far have you gotten?
To the plane.
To the plane?
Literally, they just got on the plane. The sisters.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just got on.
Text me when you get to the the Bigfoot erotica.
Jesus Christ. And then after that, bitch, you're snorting.
I know, because it's so fucking funny.
And the fact that you're... And then after that, we're reading Fine Print.
Mine's on my bookshelf, but yes, we're reading
This is the dirtiest thing April's ever read.
That's the dirtiest thing I've ever read. And I bought the next 2.
And she's bright red, which makes it even better. And then after that, I don't know. Because I'm not grown up.
We're not doing romance anymore. We're doing, we've got
John Green! Wow! Listen,
That's a hard pivot. Yeah, but we actually have some cool guests coming in March because we have your friend Hillary and we have
Hillary is coming.
Our
and she's going
honorary
to be
bestie. Yes, and we have our honorary bestie Francesca Zappia.
Jessie.
To talk about her newest book, Grave is Fair, which comes out next month. So pre-order it now. It's a grim retelling.
I'm so excited to read this book. I'm so excited to read this book.
I know. It's right there on my shelf, right there. She's top shelf too, Molly.
Word.
She's top
Word.
Shelf. So yeah, that's what we got coming up. I'm excited. We also have in April, we're going to be at a con.
At a fucking con!
We're going to be at the Annapolis Book Con on April 29th. We're going to be live streaming and interviewing some authors, and we'll put together an episode.
Maybe, possibly, handing some flyers out.
Yeah. Possibly stickers.
Maybe we'll have a few friends.
There might be some friends of the Book Besties pod that are going to be there.
We make no promises, but
we will be
look
there.
Out for us. We will definitely be
there. Will be there.
Take with that what you want. All right. It is 45 minutes in. It is time to wrap this bitch up.
We've been getting shorter and shorter.
That's okay. That's okay. We are getting this down to a freaking science. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's true. The amount of time doesn't matter if you do it right.
And that's your lesson, gentlemen, from this week's romance reads. I'm Molly. She's April. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties.
She's so weird, guys. But she didn't call you fuckers this week, so that's good.
Bye, fuckers!
Bye!
Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April, not those of anyone else. Today's book was Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins. And music is Sweet Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com. or our website, www.bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.